Alright guys, and welcome to the Sloth City Mirage Playbook from my perspective. This is going to be the best one yet, I'm pretty sure. Lots to discuss on, especially the CT side, some team play ideas, also some default setups I think we should try in order to have better success on especially CT, but also on the T side, some execute strats that I think might be handy with some lineups to boot as well. Starting with the CT side, our T side I think is generally very good. Our CT side sometimes suffers, I think, because it's not like they get mid control the T's too easily, but once the T's have top mid, they generally can get other places such as catwalk and connector easier than should be allowed. For example, if they come up underpass here, they can chuck a simple smoke like this, and very quickly they can take connector control, they can control it like this, and it's really tricky as the CTs, as we are in this position, to know what to do once this smoke is down, once they have connector. If you're playing triple, like, you know, it's super difficult to hold all the angles, and we have very little information at that point. If we've got a player like who's around here in jungle or something, and the player catwalk has been pushed further back, like we have no idea whether they're splitting B, splitting A, we have no mid presence, all this stuff. So the general setup, I think, will be to try and maintain connector control for as long as possible, until at least we establish some sort of man advantage. If so, then we can back up connector. The way to achieve that is more than likely just to keep bottom connector smoked as long as possible. So either a simple smoke like this, or another one I'll show you guys in a second, that either the connector player can throw, the rotator can throw, or even the catwalk player can throw. Keeping this smoked like 2 or 3 times around until at least we have a man advantage, potentially, should, I think, give us a lot more success and allow us to do better elsewhere. So this is the standard default setup we should go for. We should have one A anchor. The anchor plays either close ramp, in sandwich, up in palace, triple, default. They can play a nice angle like this actually, which is quite difficult to clear as long as they have someone holding their palace. One is the A anchor. The second player is the connector player that plays it every round. This could be me. There's one nice smoky over this dot here on the ceiling. And the smoke lands with a disgusting one way that's incredibly, it's basically impossible for them to see you here top mid. Get some damage, get a kill, whatever. That's what the connector player does. And then after they maybe get a kill or don't see anyone, they can play any sort of angle like this to hold underpass. They can play an angle like this to hold this as well. I think usually we play this too passive, like we end up getting out of connector, and we won't play an angle like this or play close or anything, and it's usually because there's no smoke here and it becomes increasingly difficult to hold angles like this when there's not as much teammate support. If mid's clear, they can also hop up on this box here and look towards palace, get a kill that way. Once that smoke expires, though, they need some backup from their rotator player. So the rotator is going to play window or around this area, or literally wherever they want, but to the start of the round, around jungle probably. Maybe to hold palace and to hold mid. If they have an orb, this third player can peek mid straight away with the orb, try and get a kill. If they get a kill, awesome. If they don't, that's fine. They can rotate to look palace, they can look towards ramp, they can go CT, they can go you know, B, catwalk, whatever. I think it's ideal for the orb player to just rotate wherever they fancy. Try and peek mid for a pick at the start. If you don't get it, that's fine. If they smoke window, which they might do, one thing to do is to come to this corner here. There's like a bunch of scratches on the walls. If you aim at this line above it, then you can walk this way. And if you just line up on the radial, so you're like halfway through the door, run like 3 steps forward and throw, you'll molly this off every time, and it will make it very easy for the catwalk player to get an easy kill, or for the con player to get an easy kill. So your job window is to try and get a pick top mid with the AWP, and if not, then you can throw that Molotov and deny them easy top mid presence. That's the job of the window player. The other job is potentially to just throw flashes over the top here. Like someone at the start of the round, potentially the A player or potentially the con player, should throw a flash like this. You just kind of aim in the middle of this thing and jump throw. And this will blind the guys, of course, coming out this way, make it more difficult for them to take top mid control, just delay them a little bit. The other part of this as well is that if I have a really good mid spawn, or if anyone has a really good mid spawn, what they can do is come through the hole here, jump down this way, go into this corner, chuck a smoke here, and this gives a nice little one-way on this ledge to top mid. Very, you know, achievable to get a kill here. The guys at underpass will look like they've just smoked you off, they can't see you. You can play this angle, get one kill, But then getting out of it is tricky, right? I mean, if there's multiple guys top mid. So that's when I might call for a flash here. And the guy, you know, who's anywhere around this area can just, you know, chuck a flash over here somewhere. And then I can chow, get out towards con, all this type of stuff. So that's the con player who should be here. That's the rotator, do whatever. Then we get to catwalk, right? So the catwalk player is going to play from here somewhere, could play an angle like this. Beef Pappy, who's the B anchor, could potentially boost him up on top of here. Also, the cat player can play in towards ladder room, so play an angle like this. Could also play in ladder itself and either play an angle like this just to hold short if they really like to play it, or they can just come this way, hop onto this ledge right here, onto this box, and just hold mid, hold con, and then they can always get back up this way as well. So I think that should be maybe done a bit more often to help hold mid. The other thing they can do is chow mid with a smoke like this. You just aim at either this dot or this dot. If you just aim in between is fine as well. But it can sometimes leave a bit of a one-way gap on the left side if you throw on the bigger dots. But I think they can actually probably see you that way as well. So you can come this way. You can also just throw a flash like off this if you want to, like, let's say you want to chill out mid and con at the same time. But what's good is you can hop on this little box here, get a kill top mid. You can also, once this is smoked, just peek underpass, get a kill and get away. So that's how con can help support mid as potential options. And obviously the rotator with the AWP could potentially come here as well. One additional idea, if I'm in con and I need some support and you happen to have a smoke left, let's say there's a minute left on the clock, you can come right to the middle of this door, aim, there's this like square black thing on here. If you aim in the middle of it and just marginally up, it will bounce off here and bounce off this little ledge and land in the bottom of connector. So it's a nice little helpful smoke to learn from the catwalk player. And then, of course, the fifth player is Beef Pappy, who will be somewhere either jump spotting this, as we saw yesterday with a smoke in hand, ready to smoke here, or playing in one of these two corners. The other idea, actually, is that if you're the catwalk player, or maybe we could rotate around these roles, but if one player, let's say Beef Pappy, comes in and mollies this, and then the other player can come this way, chuck a molly deep. So this will, you know, molly off the whole of apartments and force them back into the kitchen, right? And then the player that threw this molly, whoever it is, can then aim this way, chuck this smoke grenade, which bounces off this door, this window thing, and lands roughly here, which allows the player's apartments to get easy apartments control and potentially double push in this way and just clear out kitchen. So that's one other potential strat. If they're having success getting into apartments, and let's say Beef Pappy's having a hard time because they keep coming here, then we can use that play to double molly, use the deep smoke, and get easy apartments control at the start of the round. One final thing to mention is that sometimes I like to play close ramp here as a kind of as a CT. Maybe I'll come off spawn, I'll molly it, I'll nade it, but then I might need some teammate support at some point. So you might come here, might molly this, nade off this wall or something, and do some damage, and then they might eventually be in here. At which point, could need a flashbang for support. So if you happen to just come this way, aim below this window here, that'll do a pretty good flash to just blind everyone inside. Also, if you're CT and the player close ramp needs support, you can just chuck a flash like pretty much any old way this way, and it's going to be impossible for them to see it coming. This player can just peek out and get all these kills. So that, I think, is the CT side. For the T side, there's two strats I want to discuss. Firstly is Rab strats. Now, this we used to always use on pistol rounds. Just come into this corner, aim like about here, chuck the smoke. The smoke will land here top mid, which blocks off the look from con. Also, if you come out top mid, window can't see you. If you pair this with a very simple Molotov, you just walk into this wall here and just aim where this line meets the roof. That on molly con, this smoke means that you can very easily run down mid here, play for all the control of short. And on pistol rounds, this is a fantastic strat because, I mean, it worked very well for us. You can send two mid very quickly and crunch onto B site with 3 apartments, and the guys short are just completely confused on what to do. So very easy B split strategy. It doesn't work so well on normal gun rounds though, because you have a guy who will be playing from window or something, and that can make things a bit more challenging. So I would like to use this though on normal rounds, such that, okay, let's say I throw this smoke. Someone needs to smoke window. Either you can throw it like this, aim at this little dot, crouch forwards, and it will land in the window. The other option is to just get out top mid. So like you can potentially just get up top mid anyway, get to this point, aim at like this antenna, run forward a couple of steps until you step down off this, and that will land in the window as well. You can also do the same thing just with a Molotov, and it will do the same thing. And then, you know, a player can block this. So yeah, my theory is that what we could do as a strategy on certain rounds is send like 3 out top mid. I can do this smoke. Someone can come out top mid and molly con. Someone can get out top mid here, smoke window, and then 2 of us can run up short. Okay, that missed, but you get the point. 2 of us can run up short, flash this, and just immediately 2 of us can take control of this. That will be smoked if it actually landed properly. The guy short will be flashed, and very quickly we can get 1 or 2 players into ladder room. This doesn't have to be a B split, but it can just be like an early round execute to get very quick control of a very important part of the map. So I think we should use that from time to time to just dominate them in mid. The other thing I wanted to mention is B execute. So the B exec I want to do is to do 2 smokes arch. So 1 here, 1 here, which I can throw both of them. And the play is that we run out here. The first guy, which is key, if you're the first player out, you need to be jumping out through this window here. I mean, okay, let's actually try and hit the jump. But, you know, whatever. First guy comes out through this window here. Comes out, clears sight, clears this angle as well. They could be hitting at the back of the site. Clears jail. And just completely wraps around the site. Maybe even with a Mac 10 or something if we happen to be on a bonus round or something like that. This guy can wrap around here. The second guy can just come out this way. Third guy, you know, play around this way, whatever. But the first guy needs to jump out the window and wrap this way, and it will give us very quickly all the site control. That's the key thing to note. Now, of course, to do this and to jump out and just to run around the site, like, obviously kitchen is an issue and short is an issue, but it's not an issue if we have the smokes. So I can throw both of these arch smokes. One of them is like this. All I need to do is someone to just drop me their smoke, like round about here, where this arrow is. One of the smokes is like this. One of the smokes is like this. And yeah, so this lands here, and then this lands roughly here, and we'll block off all the angles from the poor guy catwalk who can see basically nothing. They can come back here, maybe get a bit of an angle, but they might not be in position to do it. So once those are down, we can easily wrap sight, but kitchen is still an issue. So I can throw both of those arch smokes. Someone needs to learn this smoke or any other market window smoke. Come into this corner, aim just below. So there's like the corner of this thing. Aim just below it where the shadow kind of is. Throw the smoke. The skybox is so high right here. And it will just bounce here and will land on this ledge. It's ideal if it lands on the ledge, not further out, because smart CTs might jump out the window and try and make a play. But you imagine with this smoke up, and with both the smokes there and there, this guy can wrap the site with not a care in the world, and we can just completely destroy the site. So that's the idea for the B exec, and what we should do on the CT side. So there it is, Mirage Playbook concluded.